Hi, I'm Newman. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to come as a bit of a shock to you. The things haven't been going so well with the cacti. I've been looking down on this bottom shelf and I found a lot of casualties. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. We have this one, which is a Wigginsia. Oh my god. Oh. I never had such rot. Look at that. It's completely caving in with rot. Also, when I go to the garden center, this particular one is starting to succumb to the stress. High altitude, I think it's a quite high altitude growing species. Neo-Wigginsia, I think, or something like that. You can see right inside the rot. And why has it done it? The temperatures have been extremely high, extremely tropical. Days 35-37 degrees with 80 to 90% humidity. Next, although I am able to save this, is this peanut cactus. It doesn't like this pot. It rejects it. It's never grown very well in this pot. But I've reached the point where I'm not going to keep it in here any longer. And I'm going to grow all these parts. Also, I'm thinking of bringing it to grow in the garden, which I think it might like. Because peanut cacti grow really well out in the open here. Whatever is salvageable, I'm doing it. It's not in good condition. It's very sick. This root system is completely given up. Thanks to the heat. Extreme heat, doesn't like it. I think this is enough to salvage. Next up on the shocking list is this. Never done well at all, not in this tropical country. Don't know how people keep it alive in Japan. I'll be damned if I know. But it is super stressed. And the root system is no good. And it's all shriveled and it's beginning its downhill. Lophophora. Okay, Lophophoras don't do any good. I'm going to give up with them. This one is just unfortunate. Should be doing better. It's a Notocactus Eubelmanianus. That one has died from other causes. And next on the shocking list is Copiopoa hypogaea. You can see there, look, when I push here, see that mushy? It's rotted. Wow. The shock. However, no malaria, Mystax, no problem. Malaria, This species, I can't remember, is fine. This is Prolifera. Prolifera doesn't mind. This one has had some heat stress. It's Kawinskiana. Surprisingly, Tephro cactus have survived quite well, and they're in a really well drained mix. That might be part of the reason. This, ouch, malaria over here, stacks. Now Marxiana is doing alright. That one is that peanut cactus again. Up here. I don't know what's going to happen to this, but it's got some kind of rot. I am so surprised that Sclerocactus unicactus is still here. It shouldn't be. This is just a trial and error. This thing is extremely what's that word? We want to say xerographica. That's a Talansia I want to buy. So it's an extremely adapted to desert life. Surprising it's doing anyone. This one is Tephro-cactus inermis, doing fine. Espostora lanater, no problem. This one's no problem. Phyllocactus magdalii. Yep, Haematocaccus. The Notocactus or Parodias love it. Love humidity. Love the heat. They like it. They lap it up. Down here, I spotted a little bit of dieback, but no problem. What makes a Mammillaria elongata die is dry rot from underwatering more than anything. And this Mammillaria alba lanata is fine, this one's fine. Yep, when I grow anything that's not a notocactus or a tricho, nodo cactus, trichocactus, trichocera, sorry. And what's the other one? Oh, Echinopsis. Anything outside of that, and it's a bit of a risk factor. And a lot of the mammies are fine. Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh my gosh. Do you know what's in the in this pot? And I better not show my wife. She'll scream. What? It's a bit trapped in there. It's a cockroach. Oh shit. Did I say shit? I mean it. She will go ape if she sees this. So we better get rid of it right now. So cockroaches running around, and we got some bait out here. Oh my gosh, here it is. This goes to show you that it's nice and crunchy. Come out of there, come on. There it is. It's been dead a while, and whoop, it was hard to find. Probably come in to eat this fertilizer. Yay! I love tephros. I'm so glad that they do well. Not to mention that it's very well draining. as I put it back, I'm going to get pricked to death. I'm surprised my camera's still running. I need 2 hands for this, so let me put my camera down. And if it turns off, that's just because it's overheated. When you got too many plants, everything is a balancing act. Why buy too many plants? Why? I buy them because I'm figuring out which ones I can grow or not, that's why. Okay, these Gymnomehanovichis are fine. They grow them in Thailand and places like that, so humidity is no problem. This is a mixed pot with gymnos and one mammy, honeyana, and a thallow cactus, I think. Okay, back to worky. Right, so that's my dead stuff. Casualties of tropical monsoon weather in Japan. On the contrary, orchids are doing well, and anything that's tropical. Echinopsis is a nice big one. You can't go wrong with them. Trichos are fine. Anyway, thanks for watching my disaster, my disappointments. But along with disappointments comes learning. And this is why I bought a lot of varieties, because I need to know. Now I do. And the ones that do fine and flourish, I keep those. Of course. Yep. So once again, this is tropical Japan. We have dry, low humidity winters with a lot of sunlight that resemble habitats of cacti. But our summers are tropical. Very tropical. So all these are Echinopsis, and that's a Tricho specianus. Yep, they all do fine. And I've even had them rot. You can overwater a Echinopsis too. Just need to have it raining on it for a good week. That'll do it. Alright. I just got some seed off my mammillaria, Parodia magnifica. This one has some seeds still in there. That's claviceps. Got a couple of claviceps. I actually thought that one was what LCI, but it's not. It's claviceps, I think. But they look so similar. Okay. What likes the tropics? Stapeliads. They grow easy. And this big prickly monster. It's a Hoodia. Hoodia likes tropical, hot tropical weather. Okay. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. And let me know how your cacti are doing. Until next time, bye bye. Hi, welcome back to my life with plants. I'm Newman. I'm going to try not to complain, but this heat is unconscionable. It's awful, and you guys have to see what survives. This is survival TV now. Survival program. We're going to have a look at some cactus. So first up over here we have Echinopsis subdenudato, and it is absolutely fine during these tremendous hot days with its shade cloth that it gets. We have another much larger one, right here, which is also doing well. So no doubt that they come from areas of Brazil that get very humid and hot, as like this weather. This is an Echinopsis hybrid, which is doing perfect. It's not anything wrong with it, and it's also bulging out of this polythene pot. Hasn't flowered yet, just because it's overcrowded, that's all. It's been in there a year and a half or something. Okay, starting to get dizzy already. This one here, let me get it out first. Get my hands around it because it's pretty heavy. This is an Echinopsis. It has beautiful pink flowers with kind of a white mid-stripe, and I've used it for hybridizing. This thing is absolutely chock-a-block in this pot now. Filled it right out. And while I'm here, let me turn it around a bit. That way a little bit more. Try not to complain because nobody likes it. But the heat is unreal. It's going to be 37 degrees. It's 100 Fahrenheit. 100's a big number, and I feel it. And this one here is another Echinopsis hybrid that I've bought. It's doing fine. Wish I could have a big industrial fan out here. Wish. What's this one? Come on. Oh. This is a mammalian. It's been doing very well. This one was actually growing. I've seen this one growing in the neighborhood. So they do pretty fine, even with excess water. It was doing fine in the neighborhood until they decided to repot it during the monsoon season. Boom boom. That was a mistake. This one here is Cactus atonus. Atonus has been doing fine. This is the last of the seed pods that's got seed in it that I've been taking out. I don't know about my another cactus horse deer. Looks like it's not doing so well in its pot. Some of those pots are just, I don't know, when the cacti get into it, it's like they don't want to grow. Have you ever noticed that with some brands of terracotta? Plants don't want to grow on them. So look at something on the, it makes it hard for the cacti to grow in them or produce roots. I don't know what it is. I wasn't supposed to sweat coming out here. I am. what we do all day is change shirts. Sweaty shirts all day. This one here is Roya peruviana, and for some reason it's doing well. Why? It's a high altitude cactus and it's doing well. Mystery. Don't get it. I hope you guys picked all that up. Okay, take it off the stand. If you want to know what the stand looks like, it's this thing here. Look. It's got that clip on it. You can bend all this wire around. This one is another cactus spinus. Doesn't mind this weather one bit. Actually, this is an ideal spot for cacti. And this is not so ideal. As you saw yesterday, there were some plants that weren't doing too good in there. This is Humifusa Puntia. I put it up here so that it can grow bigger and attack me. Okay, we're going to move along to the next section. Okay, we're back on. How's that look? Alright. Just going to have a look at these trichos here. Tricho huasha. Planted in these small pots, and they are all doing fine. Even flowered. That's two, I've got three of them, one more. Let me get that out. Here it is. It's doing fine too. Okay, we have a breeze coming in now. Now you don't have to listen to me huffing and puffing. Trying to get air. Alright, so over here we have a hybrid. Over here another hybrid that has pink flowers, very prolific. This one is one of my very old yellow flowering echinopsis, and I just got another one, and it's really bright yellow, even more bright. So I'm pretty excited about that, as you can tell. And over here, we've got this big Trichoceros specianus, and it's got all these babies inside there. We will try to get closer for you. All those babies, pups. This is an orange, no salmon pink flowering. It's not so, it doesn't produce so many offsets. It's just quite happy to have the two, and that's it. This one, then again, offsets a lot, and it has more of a rosy pink, as somebody said. And this one hasn't flowered yet, but it's supposed to have a magnificent flower. That one is one of my grafted ones that I've done from seed. It's the same as this one here. And this is another clump, the yellow flowering one here that I've had for years. And up here is mammillaria. Elongata Copper King, which does absolutely fine. In case you're wondering what that is a xeric, it is a desert-dwelling bromeliad. It's quite small. Look, it clumps profusely into big mounds. Down here, this one is also that yellow flowering echinopsis, and that one, it's really grown big. And this one is a ericii, I think that's how you say it. You see my hand on top of it, it's very large, and another one there. This one is my largest specimen, Echinopsis. Let me put my hand on there, you can see how big it is. It's pretty close to the size of a rugby ball. And it still produces offsets. And the good thing about a large plant is it produces offsets, and they grow quickly, unlike when you grow seedlings and they're all wibbly wobbly in the pot and take a long time to get a decent root system. Alright, we're going to continue along. Japan has air conditioners coming out of your ears, and when we moved in our home here, they have an air conditioner, and they like to put it on the balcony because they want to make it smaller than it already is. It's hard to clean behind the son of a gun. I mean, you got to squeeze up between there, huh? I can only go sideways to get in there, and I can't bend. You can't clean behind them. And not only that, you're supposed to cool your house off, and it's got this wall around the balcony, so the hot air blows out of it because you're cooling inside, and then it traps all the hot air in here, and it goes onto the wall. So it's stupid. And I mentioned about moving them outside the balcony and mounting them to this wall, but of course it doesn't aesthetically look good. But who's going to stop on the street to have a look at your house and point their finger and say, whoa, look, they have an air conditioner on the outside of their balcony? When people don't have balconies at all, they mount them on the outside of the balcony. And if it's such an eyesore, you can ask them to tile it, put tiles on it, or have it the same color as the balcony. Or you can go to the store and you can get curtains that are made out of vines, plastic vines, and then you just attach it to it and make it look like a jungle. Have them attached to the top of it and dangling down, and it'll look like there's houseplants growing from it. There's just a lot of things you can do besides have it on a cramped up tiny balcony where you have no space and it blows hot air out. It doesn't make sense, right? I mean, how can you clean behind that? You cannot get a brush or anything in there. You have to use a pole and kind of dig, or you have to use the garden hose and drag it up from the first floor to hose behind it. Anyway, to me it just makes the house hotter because it's blowing the air out into the balcony. It's trapping all the hot air. Blah 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 blah. Okay, up here, it had some thorns dropping off it, so I'm going to look that up and see if it's normal. It's another one that dropped off. I get a bit suspicious about pots, whether they're actually good for cacti or not. This still looks fine. It used to do much better when I had it on the west side of the house. It was even standing straight up, and all the ribs had filled out, kind of like this pup here, kind of like that. But you know, if you keep looking at your plants, you start to imagine things that are not there. Alright, Notocactus are doing fine. Actually, one of my favorites that I grow in Japan is, I've said this many times, Notocactus Lenninghalsii. Notocactus love tropical. I've said that a million times too. Can't go wrong. I've seen them growing in there was a guy that has this channel, I can't remember his name, but he has his notos growing out and they get all the tropical rain and everything, and they're growing in terracotta with well draining mix and they're thriving. I think we had a look at these yesterday, didn't we? This is another one. This is your tropical Pherocactus glossicens, which adores the tropical weather. Mammillaria magnamama. Low altitude growing cactus, by the way. From 0 up to 500 meters. That's why it's doing well. This, oh my gosh. That black on it's getting worse. I think just a little tip. When your phone overheats like mine, get an ice pack and put it on it. Helps to cool the phone and stop it from, I don't know, the battery from melting and your phone ceasing to work. That's just a little tip for you when your cell phone overheats. But contrary to this popular belief, in Japan they recommend that when you get home and you're dying of heat stroke and oh my gosh, it's 37 degrees, 100 Fahrenheit, and you've been sweating like a pig, you feel nauseous, you even want to throw up, they recommend getting into a nice hot shower to reset your body. Well, we have to go tell all the polar bears in the Arctic about that, okay? Because they're all getting overheated. So they need to jump into a big giant hot bath to cool off, okay? Alright, so where was I? I was googling my eyes at this Gymnocalycium saglionis, and I have no idea why I would do that. You know, these things are one of the hardiest cacti I have. So why is it... Ouch, ouchie, ouch. Why is it doing that? Is that rot? Which certainly looks like it to me. But why? Why? This one's doing fantastic, and this one had like the signs of rot right at the bottom by the base, and I would come out and squirt it with hydrogen peroxide mixed with water. Yes, hydrogen peroxide. I've done it on a seedling that I bought. It had terrible rot on the side of it, and what it did is it cleaned out all the rotten, infected and dying parts of the cactus, and it left it with just nice, pristine, clean tissue. And then it mended it. Not only did it mend it, the thing took off like a rocket. Started growing faster than anything else that I had. So this one will get the same treatment. It gets hydrogen peroxide on it. There's two things that will happen. It will recover. Number two, it won't. Okay. Please choose. Okay, don't mind my sense of humor. Okay, this is what it's like. Yeah. This is me being funny. Yeah. Well, you have to be, don't you? Well, everything's going wrong. You gotta look at the bright side of life. This Rebutia, I love Rebusias, but man, are they hard to grow here. This one is a little wobbly in the pot, but I'm not going to water it too much, going to keep it shaded like I have been doing, and it should be fine. This is just its midsummer mood. Shriveling, not producing new roots, not doing anything at all. But this is normal. Okay, at least we forget that these cacti, a lot of them in their natural habitat, they have dry seasons and they shrivel up in that. So this is perfectly healthy. Don't panic. And Gymnomontvellii, which is doing great. These terracotta pots are ideal. See these colored ones here? They're fine. This is from my Notocactus horstii. Thank goodness. Gymnobaruchii is fine. Inocytii is fine. Gymnocalycium Baldianum is fine, and that scarring up there, they even get that in habitat. It's the humidity that causes this attack, and the cactus has an ability to recover and recuperate from it. This is another horstii that has the orange flowers. That's doing fine. They're just not growing so much. I think that particular one is just has a little bit of different growing needs. It's let me get hot again. We saw these yesterday. This is another smaller one of a larger Echinopsis. There's a beautiful bright lemon flower with pink buds. Looking forward to it when it gets bigger. This is my Italian made terracotta giraffe that I love to put lots of offsets in. And I've been in there for a few months now. I would say 5 months. And they're doing pretty good. Nice. Down here, this one's called Strawberry Ice. And like its name says, strawberry ice colored flowers. They should be magnificent. Oreoceras trolli. This is Echinopsis carlochlora. Don't expect this to flower in a hurry. Just saying. But when it does, it's a beautiful white, very, 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 very neutral white, just as white as you can get, with a beautiful fragrance. Roadkill cactus is showing stress, but that's okay. It's a toughie. Likes lots of water too. I'm not going to water it now. We'll wait till the evening, give it another big drink. It's been doing well, so it's in my good books. When they're not, I'm going to ignore them. Everybody does. Up here, Mammillaria, thimble cactus. Always does fine. I enjoy plucking them off and growing more. Has taproots too, so it's hardy in the drier seasons. Prolifera, one of my favorites. Other growers that I've seen outside, they water theirs a heck of a lot. They don't seem to rot. They just suck it all up and grow more, so that's good. Good to know. Always check out those neighborhood grown cacti. Alright, the phone got cut off again. But just let me sit here next to this fan so I don't die a little bit more in this heat. Yeah, it is that hot. And in here just feels really cool if you think I'm being sarcastic again. See that? It's 30 degrees. Just over 60% humidity. 30 degrees feels great compared to that. And I just wanted you to see what's happening with cacti in the tropics here. You can see which ones have died and are not doing too well. I have been watering them every 2 to 3 weeks when the temperatures drop down. But we do have tropical rains, and those tropical rains you can do nothing to stop where the water goes. So the water goes everywhere, sideways, up, under stuff, because it's heavy, and the humidity would just be 100%. There's no, I mean, it says 99 all the time. It's just like 100% saturated air with humidity, so it rots a lot of varieties of cacti. And if it does, you just don't buy them anymore, don't bother with it. There's plenty more you can grow. And as I've said before, I can grow Echinopsis, Trichoceros, Parodias or Nodocacti, and there's a few others that I can grow surprisingly, like Epithlantha. I don't know why, but it does fine. It must have great ancestors that came from more tropical areas, so it does fine. And believe it or not, I got a Sulco Butia that's doing fine. I don't know why either. And Oroya peruviana, out of all things, why is that doing fine? I have no idea, but it is, and I'm pretty happy about it. But I'm not placing a bet that it won't rot in the future. And I got one Gymnocalycium saglionis that has, apparently looks like rot, doesn't it? You can think nothing else of it. But I'm going to spray it with hydrogen peroxide and hope that it's not inside the core of the plant. But I won't know that for a long time. Usually the Gymnocalyciums are fine. Even with this high humidity, you just don't water them so often. You try to keep them on the dry side. And if they do get torrential rain and they get wet, they're able to do fine with that too. So they're not as rot prone. And you can see Baruchii is still doing fine, so that's great. I will check the camera to make sure it's running. I wasn't going to say that. I will make sure that I don't water any more during August. Not a drop. You can see the Rebutia there is, or Rebutia, is one that I've been growing for a few years now, and I've come to know its habits. So it looks terrible and shriveled up, but that's normal. It does fine that way. Has been doing fine, so I'm pretty confident that I can grow some more. And you can see that some cacti are up on the wall. Now the reason why I do that is if I have a high altitude cactus like a Tephro, could be actually Tephro-Cactus articulatus have been doing magnificent, so they don't mind this weather one bit. But their growing medium is very well drained, very well drained. It's got a lot of pumice in it and sand. Up on the wall I grow stuff, and that is for things like Puna, Boniae, and other kinds of high altitude puntioids, Cumulapuntia boliviana. Just checking the phone's on. And they also grow up on the wall. I got one that's looking really great. It's forming a big mound, but unfortunately we can't get to it because of all the orchids are in the way and I can't reach around there. I just peek around the corner with my camera to see how it's going. It's like a big surprise in winter when I move all the orchids back inside and I see it and I get a big surprise, like a Christmas present. I see it after it's grown so much. And stuff that grows up on the wall, okay, it's even more aerated, more airflow. The sun doesn't reach up there until late autumn and all of winter and spring. The sun will reach up there. Not only that, the rain can't reach them. The humidity isn't as high. If I was to get a hygrometer and put it up there, it would be drier because it's right off the ground. So I think that the ground is where all the humidity hangs around. It hangs around on the ground, right? Because it sinks. It's wet air. So the higher you go up, the drier it is. And you can see that Mammillaria elongata Copper King is doing fantastic, and it's because it's way up off the ground where the humidity is. So this is a good growing tip for you. If you can have a shelf, and what I suggest is don't have a shelf that's super tall and standing on its own so that it gets knocked over once you stack plants on it. What you want to do is you want to put a very wide, heavy, solid metal shelf. Very heavy. We're talking about like 10 kilos, 10, 15, or even 20 kilo solid shelf, and then you're going to push the taller shelf that's 5.5 feet or 6 feet tall. You want to push that up against that one, and you want to either tie it on with zip ties, or you want to get bonsai wire and wire cutters or vice grips, and you want to twist that wire around the legs so that you stick those two shelves together, and that way your taller shelf of 5 foot or 6 foot tall, whatever you like, is never going to fall over. So that's one thing that you want to think about, how you're going to keep that shelf from falling over 100%. And then you can put your high altitude cacti that dislike humidity altogether. You want to put them right up on the top there. You'll see the difference. Big difference. Alright, that's enough blabbity blah from me. And I hope this helps you out and gets you to know your cacti better. And don't forget that when you're watering, you want to have acidic water. So there are certain minerals, sodium bicarbonate is one of them, that you can add to your municipal water to make it more like rainwater. So it's like 5.5 to 6. So you want to do that, okay? I'm multitasking here. This is what I do. Me and my focus. As I'm talking or doing something, I try to do other things. So you want to make sure that you have your pH in the water right. And if you can't, then you just don't forget to use a little bit of gypsum in your potting medium for those cacti that like it, because I appreciate that. And that's all from me. Thanks for watching. And this has been all about cacti in the tropics. And we'll see you next time. Bye.